All right, everybody, thank you once again for joining us for another deeper dive. This one's going to be a fun one. Jahlil Okafor against Karl-Anthony Towns as it relates to the Knicks. You know how we feel about Okafor. Great footwork, incredible post position and skill, polished post moves, specifically on left block, but also on the right block. Keeps his defender off balance, uses his shoulders, his body, his size to be able to get to the basket at will and score incredibly efficiently. What surprised me most about Towns, which I hadn't noticed, was his incredible ability with the jump hook on the left block. Definitely not as polished, doesn't have nearly the array or the arsenal of moves, but he has an absolute go-to that he is really, really good at, and something that will translate at the NBA level if he can create enough space and find spots. He is very fragile and frail with the lower body and will be at the next level immediately, which we'll get to later, but he does have the rhythm and the ability to be very effective with this jump hook. The shoulder shake, the throw, it's a move that he's perfected, no question. It's a move that he's made 1,000,000 times in his life. You can tell he's put his 10,000 hours in, and then his athleticism is just off the charts. Here again against Mississippi State, even by getting pushed back, still uses his two dribbles, uses that left shoulder to back his defender down, and then there you go. I love this play. The quick pinch, the old little screen there for Towns to be able to get that shot off. Tremendous. Pick and roll defense. Okafor's lack of lateral defensive movements hurt him, but he also plays a lot of minutes, which Towns does not, and he doesn't get nearly, talking about Towns, doesn't nearly get picked on as much in pick and roll, but as Okafor does, but Okafor's clearly just not the athletic comparable player laterally as Towns is. Here against St. John's at the Garden earlier in the year, just got exposed far away from the basket when St. John's went spread. Again, here against Notre Dame, they went spread as well. Duke tried to help, but there were pockets. Here, Okafor does a nice job of trapping a little ice on the sideline, but just gets lazy back there, and that doesn't bode well. He can guard the ball against less athletic guards, but at the next level, you're going to have so much more athleticism. Here he struggles once again in space against St. John's. That's a missed shot and a rebound, but an easy look and one that he'll run up against very much at the next level. To me, if you're the Knicks, what's your belief? Do you believe that outside in is a championship-winning formula? Do you believe that that's how you're going to get there? I think it's inside out, and if that's the case, you're talking about having Okafor as your big guy if you have the number 1 pick overall and surrounding him with better defensive players. Towns, clearly a much better defensive player, clearly a guy who has more athleticism, but he's also someone who can get pushed off of the block. His base, once again, is not that firm, no anchor. Here, Harrell just shoots it right over him because he was able to get space. Nice job in the pick and roll here, forcing the jumper, but you got to get stronger. And he will, no question about it. You know, he will get stronger, but in comparison to the guy who you know is already strong, I feel like you have to take the constant in that situation, you know, if you're picking first overall. Here again, earlier in the year, he gets pushed down by a much stronger defender, forced to foul. It's all about positioning. Here he has to backpedal and gets pushed back and just doesn't have the strength to be able to compete with stronger players. Passing, absolutely equal. What I love most is that both players have learned, especially on the left block, to look opposite. Here, Towns does a tremendous job of recognizing the double team comes, and of course you have to double team because everything on the left block against Towns is a layup. Here he doesn't make a great pass. Harrison makes the catch, but it results in a three-pointer. Okafor has a similar skill. He can certainly feel when defenders are coming. Look at this baseball pass. Perfect right into the catch for a rhythm three. Love that stuff. If you are an opposite shooter, here, guys in the corner for Duke, one extra pass, and you have a three-pointer off of a hockey assist from Okafor. Towns, once again, look at this pass to Cauley Stein. And those two together, I mean, are you kidding me? You're talking about two guys who are just incredible to watch together. Okafor doesn't have that luxury. The luxury he does have is in an arsenal of moves. Here he is, side pick and roll on the right side. Just here's a counter to the roll move in the drop step with a bank shot. This surprised me very much about Towns. I didn't know he had the ability to step out that far off of a pick and pop. Very, very exciting. It seems that he does have the left side of the court from a scoring perspective mastered, and that's a great sign. Once again, you have a pick and roll opportunity, but in Horns, I mean, come on. It's almost unfair. They would score 160 points if they ran this set every time with Cauley Stein and Towns. You need to expect to see a lot of this in the tournament. Here, Towns knocks down a jumper straight on. I really can't speak enough of the awesomeness of Horns. And look at this pass. Kick back out to the strong side for a three. Towns, without question, in terms of blocks and rim protection, is a better player. Definitely more athletic, but Okafor can hold his own. Again, I don't see him being a terrible defender that other people think. He's a guy who can cover space. Not nearly as well as Towns at the rim, but look at this post defense against Meeks. Lets him back him down, lets him use his shoulder, and then blocks a shot. Meeks is a very good post player. Obviously not the sensational, Bill Russell, Bill Walton, type shot blocker to keep the ball at play. Here's a little volleyball action. Tremendous player, as is Okafor. In the end, if the Knicks are picking first, second, or third, they're going to get a really impactful, young, good big man in Towns or Okafor. Can't go wrong. A lot to be excited about. I'm Tommy D. This has been another Charge.fm Deeper Dive. You guys are awesome.